What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over what the true difference is between 144 and 240 FPS. So if you're thinking about upgrading, or if you're just curious what the difference is, I'm going to be going over all that in this video. If you're curious where I've been, I'm going to be explaining that at the end of the video, so stick around to the end if you're curious. But with all that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this video short. I'm just going to go over key points. So what truly is the difference between 144 and 240 FPS? Well, plain and simple, it's just more smooth. In creative, I'm going to use this as Fortnite. Depends on what game you're playing. But in Fortnite, I used to play on 144 FPS. And the first time I got my new PC and I put on 240 FPS, it felt so much more smooth. Everything felt really consistent. I wasn't having frame drops or anything like that, so that is also a bonus. Obviously, if you're playing on 144 FPS, you might have frame drops down to like 60, but the difference really is not going to make you so much better. If you played on 60 FPS and you went up to 144, you know that there's a huge difference there and you're going to improve a lot from switching. But when you switch from 144 to 240, you're not really going to improve much. You're mainly just going to feel a lot more smoother and consistent. It's actually a really good change in Arena though. In creative, not much really changes. It's just a lot more smooth, but when you hop into Arena, I know personally I used to cap at 120 FPS and I would drop down to like 60 FPS in build fights. I would get a lot of frame drops, but on my PC right now, I really don't go below 240 FPS like at all in Arena, which is a huge plus. So in my opinion, in creative, it's not really going to benefit you much, but I know for most of you, either you're playing other games or you're playing Arena, and it is really going to help you out, especially in end games. I played scrims recently, and I know when I used to play scrims on my old PC, I would drop down to like 50 FPS. It was pretty much unplayable. And this isn't going to help your lag, but upgrading to 240 FPS is definitely going to make it a lot easier to play in end games. So if you're thinking about becoming competitive and taking competitive really seriously, I would recommend going up to 240. But if you're really just kind of playing the game for fun, you're trying to get better, I think 144 is just going to do the job. Okay, so do I recommend upgrading? And the answer within the next 6 months, at least, of this video's upload is no. As most of you know, GPU prices are so high right now. Some of the cards out right now are probably going to be twice as good as they are and even cheaper than they are right now in about a year. So I know you're thinking, oh, a year, that's way too long, I can't wait a year. Unless you really, really need it within the next like few months, or you have the money for it and you just feel like spending, then that is totally fine. Go ahead and buy it. I'm not saying you can't buy a PC right now, but I personally do not recommend it. If you have the money for it, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you from getting it, but all I'm going to say is the difference is not major. There's definitely a difference, and like I said earlier, if you're trying to become a competitive player and you really think it's going to help you out and it's going to help you in the long run make more money playing competitively, then go ahead and get it. But do I recommend getting it? No, I do not recommend getting it. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is if you have 240 FPS but you have a 144 Hz monitor, and in that case I do recommend upgrading to 240 because monitor prices aren't as high as GPU prices are right now. So if you get consistent 240 FPS, and I'm not talking that you uncap your FPS in creative and it says 240 and you're like, oh, I get 240 FPS. Go into Arena, uncap your FPS, and just kind of walk around, play, see what it's at. If it's above 200 in Arena consistently and it's not dropping, then yes, I would recommend getting a 240 Hz monitor. I'll leave the one I have in the description. They're only like $300. So I do think that is a good upgrade from 144 Hz. If you have a 60 Hz monitor, then I definitely recommend upgrading to 144 Hz because that is going to be a huge difference. For those of you wondering where I've been pretty busy this last month. I was on vacation for a little bit, my school just started up, and I've been kind of waiting for my new PC to get in, but it did finally come in. So I'm going to be trying to upload like 2 videos a week from now on, and I did start streaming on Twitch. I'm going to be trying to stream pretty much daily. Anytime I'm not editing, I'll be streaming. So it'll be like the first link in the description. Stop by and say hi. For those of you that have watched my previous videos, you know what time it is. It's time for the emoji, and today's emoji is going to be a banana. So if you made it this far in the video, don't forget to comment a banana down below so I know who made it this far. That's going to be it for me. See you guys in the next video.